right. And we're going live on Instagram too. Hello.
Welcome to day A of the Base12 Spinalong.
Day A? That sounds weird.
Well, that's what you get when you do Base12.
Yeah, Base12. So again, for those of you that are just joining or need a refresher on Base12, it doesn't count like normal Base 10, which is what everybody's used to, right? So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, 10, where the 10 is what we would consider 12 items, but 1, 0 is having 1 12 amount and then 0 of the ones amount. So you are spinning on day A,
which is school.
The 10th day, which is folk school. I am going to be spinning on day 1. My squishy die actually finally got me day 1. So what is day 1?
Day 1 is primary yellow.
Primary yellow.
On the color box.
Which is funny because I was doing orange yesterday, right? No, 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to look for the single end in the orange, and that would have been bad because I would have ripped it out right from the middle.
Yeah, I know I have to pay attention to my wraps for inch today because folk school wants to be thinner than what I've been spinning.
So why don't you talk a little bit about folk school and what it exactly was?
So folk school is one of the signature blends from my road trip collection, which is now getting discontinued, but we just found a whole bunch of the fiber for doing the samplers today. So they are actually on sale for $20 in the store.
Ooh.
Which has 1 ounce samples of all the road trip blends. There are 6 road trip blends. They are the places that we usually travel every year for fiber. So it was Indy Knit and Spin, Maryland Sheep and Wool.
We don't really travel for. We run that one.
Yeah. Super Summer Knit Together, Shenandoah, Rhinebeck, and is that 6?
No, there's more. There's only 5, isn't there?
There's 6.
Wait, let's count again.
Indy Knit and Spin.
Yeah.
Maryland Sheep and Wool.
Yeah, which we don't sell at, but we go
Folk
to.
School.
Folk School, which we also don't sell at.
Super Summer Knit Together.
Yeah.
Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
Shenandoah.
There we go. There's 6. Yeah, so Rhinebeck, Folk School, and Maryland Sheep and Wool are not ones that we sell at, but we do attend. And the Folk School one is interesting because it's a representative of the John C. Campbell Folk School, which, again, we don't really necessarily attend that ourselves, but our kids attend that, right?
So my parents live nearby, and so my kids, we didn't get to do it this last summer, but prior summers get to go to Little Folk School. So they have a week of making, and they take, in Little Folk School, they take like 4 different classes. So they've done stuff like felting and
woodworking,
knitting, and surface design, and woodworking, and basketry, and
Gab's excited because next year she's going to get to do blacksmithing. So
she has 1 more year at Little.
Oh, does she?
She has to be 12.
Oh,
for middle.
Lame.
So then they have Middle Folk School, which the kids get to do kind of like the adult classes. And they're, you do a half day of, you take 2 things and you do a half day of each.
Which is
so,
cool.
But one thing we always do at the end of our trip for folk school is we go on one of the trails, and there are blackberry canes on the trail, and so we go and we pick blackberries.
And they're wild blackberries, so they're tiny, but they're oh so flavorful.
And so the blend itself, it's mostly dark purples with a touch of chartreuse, is inspired by our blackberry picking at the John C. Campbell Folk School.
Yep. So, but you're discontinuing road trip.
Yeah.
Right? And what collections are you keeping?
Pittsburgh is going to stick around and get refreshed as blends run out. So there'll be some turnover in Pittsburgh. And then unicorns will be sticking around, and gemstones. But unicorns and gemstones are always, they're constantly being revised. And so Pittsburgh's going to become kind of a permanent collection that is constantly revised.
Are we going to have any new thematic ones coming out?
I don't know. It's because of space.
Yeah.
I might.
We got the color collection too.
I've got the color collection too. And I've got some things that I had created for the Synergy Fiber Club last year.
Right.
That I'll be putting up that are kind of more like kits.
I think we should revisit the cocktails box again.
I'm interested in revisiting
sustaining my spirit.
cocktails as some yarn colorways.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'd be neat. Hey, what about doing yarn colorway boxes?
I think I'm gonna start moving to doing some collections for yarns.
Okay, it's a neat idea.
It's a framework I really like working in. So I'm gonna, instead of just having fun with dye pots and carrying whatever I come up with, I'm gonna try to work on some more cohesive collections.
Nice. Well, good. Let's see. So I'm gonna accidentally punch you for a little bit and then grab my drink. My drink is special today for two reasons. One, I'm drinking out of a wine glass that, as I take a sip, look at the bottom of the stem.
You do that like across
the blue.
Or something dark, not your skin. Yeah, there. Now we can see the sun.
It is one of our spindle designs. I laser etched a couple. Well, when did I do that for you?
A couple
Christmases ago or something?
I think it was the first Christmas we had the laser.
So we obviously we have a bunch of spindle designs, and I picked Jill's favorites and laser etched a couple of glasses with the stem to have those designs. The other thing is you'll notice the bottle behind me is Merino wine, which I have no idea why it's Merino. Do you know the background behind it? It's just they're trying to capitalize on the whole. Well, spinners like to drink, knitters like to drink, right?
Yeah. It's not the first wool related wine name we've come across.
Oh, there was also that liquor, the Black Sheep liquor that I got you, the small bottle of.
Yeah.
But you haven't tried that. So I guess I'm on a cocktails kick right now. I've been mentioning quite a bit. Anyway. Okay, so I think yesterday we mentioned watching the Witcher, or that we were going to watch The Witcher. You started watching without me. It was interesting. I liked it. It's definitely worth watching. I feel like, one of the things that I came away with, though, is that it felt like there's three writers. If you like Game of Thrones, it's got a writer like that. What else was I saying, though? It was a writer that one writer that thinks it's Game of Thrones, one writer that thinks it's like a comedy-esque type of thing, so a little bit like Firefly or Mandalorian. And then another writer that was like, but wait, we need some gratuitous TNA in there. So there's a couple of scenes that
you obviously do not watch a lot of modern fantasy.
No, I really don't.
Because compared to most of it, this is very low on the TNA.
Well, good. I'm glad. I still think it's a little bit too much, but
because it's like the first episode and
Evanita was watching it, but paused it to tune in here. Well, thank you. I'm honored, honestly. So
we'll be watching it after you finish here.
Exactly. But yeah, definitely worth a watch if you've got Netflix. I think I'm definitely enjoying it. It's catching me a lot easier than Game of Thrones did. That's for sure.
Yes, the characters are much better than Game of Thrones.
So that's good. The other thing that I was going to mention yesterday, and I completely forgot to, and then Jill reminded me, I had a fun instance at work where I got to fix somebody's knitting, and so that made me feel warm and squishy. So I was walking out of my yoga class, and one of my, I'm laughing at me. Yoga's awesome.
It is.
Don't judge me. Anyways, so I was going to yoga, And one of my friends from work, who's a knitter, was asking me if I was going to stick around. Unfortunately, it was last day before vacation, so I was trying to leave as early as possible, and so she was on her way to Zumba, but decided, you know what, this was more important. Apparently, her husband had accidentally pulled out the needles from her knitting, and you could tell that she wanted to do the classic thing about complaining about, oh, these men don't know anything about knitting,
Yeah.
but then she's asking a man about knitting help.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny. But anyway, she had done a perfect job of picking up 99% of the stitches that had fallen out. But she looked at it and she said, something looked odd. And it took me a while, but I found out that like 3 rows, one of her stitches had gone like 3 rows down, and she didn't catch the first row to pick it all back up. So I took it apart, dropped the stitches down. Of course, she had a mini heart attack as I'm doing that, because when it happens by accident, that's always terrifying. And when somebody does it on purpose, for some reason, it's even worse. But then I was able to pick it all back up and left her with a little bit of weird tensioning, I guess, there. But that's because, as we're trying to fix it, the stitches to either side get really tight. So as they say, that shit'll block out. Although she was worried that because it was acrylic, it wasn't going to block. And
it'll still move a little bit and adjust.
And that's what I was telling her. And if she's really worried about it, that the key thing is you can start pulling out those really tight stitches.
Yeah.
And readjusting them. So
I think I need to tie myself a new drive band.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I can't. I've kind of reached the limit of how much I can get this to.
Why don't you go and do that right now, and then I can.
The internet does not want to see me curse.
Maybe I'll beat you at that point.
No, I got it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was looking at my drive band, actually, is a little bit wobbly on this. I think it's a little bit loose. I have a spare. Well, I mean, for that one, I can also go to the larger.
I also have to fashion a new brake band for my Ladybug, because Gab broke the.
She broke the brake band.
Yeah.
That sounds
like almost a full bobbin today.
That sounds like a perfect grunge rock band, broken brake band. I don't know.
So I've got to take it apart, put it back together again.
Well, I'm so proud that she was actually spinning. Now,
yes.
A lot of it didn't really look like very much spinning. It looked like, okay, she's got a bunch of twists in the fiber supply and she's letting it go.
Yeah.
But she's doing something.
She's doing something.
Which is good. I was really impressed when she said she was so proud too.
Yeah.
She sent me a photo.
She's a little intense today, but
as you said, she was dialed up to 11, which she is.
Yeah.
11.
So when she turns 12, will she dial up to 12?
Absolutely.
Oh gosh, when does it end?
25. I think that's what we were talking about, right? Once you hit 25, you've blown out the tweeters, and there's so many ways to just take this analogy and go way too far with it. Go too thin. Go way too thin. What's going on? Holding on to my stapling. There we go. I fixed it.
But she made Rulogs on the blending board.
Did she really?
Yeah.
So yeah, you were in the studio today. What'd you end up doing?
Sent out a couple packages, divided up one of the Cotton Club colorways, and got that ready to go. And then realized I left the rest of the cotton here.
Oh no.
So I'll have to
get that ready to ship out.
Yeah, I'd like to do that on Monday. And then I carded a bat for Synergy Fiber Club. I finished that up. And then I was, let's see, I think mostly managing Gap.
Oh,
because she was trying to get some work done. She was trying to help out, so it was, overseeing that, making sure she cleans up after herself, and then she wanted to spin, and then she wanted to make warlogs, and then so.
Do you have your the card?
Yeah.
I'm gonna check what I'm spinning because I feel like I'm going a lot thicker than usual. Well, I'm about that 18. Yeah.
Yeah.
16, 18.
So I've got a whole bunch of, starting we kind of have routine for the studio. End of year is a lot of inventory reduction, try to get stuff out, refresh stuff, and then the beginning of the year, then it's make sure like all the braids that we generally just do braids for shows, not for shipping out, and so like we make a fresh set of braids that sit in the studio, and those are the ones that get packed up for shows.
Yeah. Well, so maybe we should explain a little bit about the logic behind that. Braids look prettier, absolutely,
and give something that is durable enough for people to handle at a show.
But they're not really the best way to deal with fiber. I mean, you can see none of us is spinning from a braid. We're just spinning from this sort of wrapped up stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
So I prefer to, I store in plastic when it comes to my own stash for insects and all of that. And then also just braids that get handled too much or sit around for too much can compact and cause problems with drafting.
Yeah. And
man, I should start unbraiding anything I buy and putting it in bags as soon as it enters the stash.
Yeah? Why?
I think that would be a good idea. Just because I found that like braid, except for cotton.
Yeah.
Cotton can take the abuse because it doesn't felt. And other non-feltable fibers can kind of take the abuse, but just fiber that I've had stored loose, like just as top into what I call nests. So just kind of a little, I wrap them around my hand. They tend to age better in the stash.
So Amanita is saying it's interesting how people handle fiber differently. I braid up everything and spin directly from the braids, even when spindle spinning. Interesting, yeah. So why do you prefer spinning from the braid? I mean, it's nice that it gives little sort of bits, but I usually find when I'm spindle spinning that I end up just tearing off a little chunk and spinning just from that.
Yeah.
So, and
it's one of those personal preferences.
It absolutely is. So, I mean, absolutely, for anybody who's watching, if you're wanting to have a particular style, either
if
bag
you leave
or braid.
me comments, I will happily braid fiber to you before I put it in a bag.
Yep.
And ship it off to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, braiding fiber is basically the only crochet I can do.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do, right? It's a single one,
it's a
one
crochet
chain.
chain.
Yeah. Single
because
chain.
people who actually braid fiber, there's a
Insane.
special place somewhere for them that's not very nice, and it's a guaranteed way to make sure I will never buy from them again.
Oh yeah?
I hate undoing real braids.
So what's the difference between a chain braid and a real braid?
So the nice thing about a crocheted braid is that you find the one end and you can just the right end, and you can just pop out a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of slowly unzip it. Fiber that's really braided, they don't, and it's a way that's braiding with a single length, like folded in 3.
Okay.
And you can't take it apart without like undoing the entire thing. You can't partially unbraid it.
Now I understand why you say there's a special place.
And you have to like thread like it back through itself.
Wow.
So
why would you even put yourself through that in the first place to braid?
Because,
maybe even need,
because all of us talk about braids.
Yeah.
And so people, when they're starting out, think that
They need
people were
to
talking
actually
about a real braid.
Yeah, like a hair braid.
Yeah, a hair braid, not a crochet chain, because we don't talk about it colloquially as chains.
Well, maybe we should talk. You are all about using the right terminology for things,
yes,
right?
they are.
So maybe we should start calling them crochet chains instead of braids.
That would be smart.
Yeah, I mean, because you have the same thing about chain ply.
Yeah.
Versus what is it?
Navajo
ply.
And fire lead versus Scotch tension and
descriptive. Oh, and the
descriptive
drop spindle versus suspended spindle.
Yeah.
Right. So Evanidia says, braid for me takes up less room, so it's easier to handle when I'm using a spindle. If I'm taking a project out and about, I sometimes tear a bit, and I expect to spend that day for easier carry.
It's
that makes sense.
Fiber management.
That absolutely makes sense. And that's sort of, it's more durable, right? We mentioned that. It's certainly easier.
Yeah, because it is protecting some of the fiber surface from wear.
So, well, if you order stuff from us and you'd like it braided ahead of time, just let us know in the comments. Oh yes, sorry, chain. Damn it. Oh well. I will learn. You can teach this old dog new tricks. All right. So what else is new? We've got like 12 hours before we see Rise of Skywalker. What time are we going to go see it tomorrow?
I think 12:50.
Okay, more than 12 hours then.
Yeah, enough time so that we can feed children before.
That's an important thing. There's only one vendor I know who braids fiber. I love their fiber so much that I forgive the fiber braiding.
Oh, see, I've never had that instance.
So, in case anybody's wondering, that's the comment from Evanidia. Yeah, no, I would suggest that you may, if it's a problem, then you should mention it to them, right? Also, Evanita says, I like doing the chaining, and sometimes I'll even undo the chain and redo it to fluff up for photography purposes. Yeah, they, like I said,
I have definitely learned that we have switched from very early on doing a tighter chain. So to now I do a much looser chain.
Yeah.
Because it does, one, it makes it much shorter. It's easier, takes up less space lengthwise.
Good for hanging.
And it does
racks,
seem to deal with travel better. And then I've also switched that all of my fiber travels in hard-sided bins to shows
instead of bags. Yeah.
Instead of bags.
Your yarn travels in bags.
Yarn travels in bags. That's not a problem. Fiber gets put into hard-sided bins so that it doesn't get as much wear.
Yeah. Did you notice something?
What?
Okay, no, nothing. Don't pay attention.
Oh, you're going to beat me tonight.
You started before me. How am I going to beat you, huh?
Because my fiber really wants to be thin tonight, so I'm having to pay a lot more attention to it.
I also decided to shift my my wheel to a faster speed. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Make you a spinner with a capitalist soon enough.
All right, we got some comments we missed here. Lenora says, I saw Rise today. 2 thumbs up. Excellent.
I've been hearing from certain people,
ones you trust,
people I trust that are not doing spoilers, what their opinions of it, and I think we're going to enjoy it because we're not asking it to be anything more than a Star Wars movie.
Speak for yourself. I'm asking for it to resolve everything, tie up all of my loose ends. I want to know the answers to the universe.
I don't think you'll be satisfied then.
I usually go into movies with very low expectations. I can't not have high expectations for this.
The only thing I've heard that you might not like was that this is nothing spoiler.
I don't care. I don't want to hear anything.
There are some Michael Bay-esque action sequences.
God damn it, Jill. No, I don't even want to know that.
It's actually puppet theater.
Okay. Maybe do they have a scene like an Angel where everybody turns puppets?
Yes. That's what I heard.
Or the
It's
scene from
amazing.
Community where everything turns claymation when they get all high.
Yes. There's one of those too.
Oh, great.
They break out into musical in the middle.
Oh, that would be, you know what? I never knew I wanted this, but now more than anything, I want a Star Wars musical.
You need a Kylo and Rey duet.
Oh, Jill. See, now I can't be anything but disappointed. Because that will not happen. And I desperately want it to.
It is a space opera.
Let's see. Evanita says, I keep meaning to let that vendor know how frustrating it is to unbraid the fiber next time. And Lenora says 42. That is actually the miscalculation of the light universe and everything, because the Earth computer crashed. It's revealed later on. Oh,
Look at you.
Look at that. Look at that.
Actually deserved.
And I didn't spin that much thicker than
A
usual.
little bit thicker.
Oh.
Victory.
Yes, I have significant victory. I've defeated the Jill. You got quite a bit to go too.
Yeah, this fiber takes a while to spin.
42 was not a failed calculation. 42 was the answer to the question. The Earth was intended to figure out what the question was, and they never knew what the question was because Earth was destroyed before it completed that calculation.
But then when they went back and they studied the humans, the last remaining human from that iteration, the part of the software that got to 42 was, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but as it was going through the calculations, it got of what is 5 times 7, and it came out as 42, and that was right when the Earth was destroyed. So it was a messed up calculation, and that's where it crashed.
But that answer, the answer of 42 was correct. The what is 5 times 7 was incorrect.
Okay.
Because the answer of 42 came
Right,
from
because that was the question.
That was from
right.
Deep Thought.
Right. Yes, Deep Thought said 42, and the Earth was to get what the question was. Correct.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. That was a verbal comment from Dave, 12-foot Dave, who, if you couldn't tell, was not actually on the chat today. He's here
He's
in
actually
person.
in our basement.
He is in our basement. Oh, yeah. There are voices, Bollywood moments, voices. Well, and thank you for correcting me, 12-foot Dave. But now going back to the Star Wars musical, I really want this. Being the huge Star Wars fan that I am, I think this might
Well,
be
apparently
another
we have a
project I should do.
connection to the holder of the Star Wars universe now.
Yeah. No, I think
A friend of a
I
friend.
need to write a song that's not Seagull Stop It Now, and have it be a part of the Star Wars universe, and we can pitch the Skywalker Saga musical, starting from
They
the
can
beginning.
bring it to Broadway. Yeah.
No, I think this is what needs to happen. This would be the best way for Disney to keep milking the franchise. Yeah, I'm.
It
I'm
would
cool
at
with
least be better than the Christmas special.
which I still haven't seen, which we need to. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's somewhere on YouTube.
I don't think so.
It's on the YouTubes. Everything's on the YouTubes. There are some movies like that which are difficult to find. That people will put up on YouTube for short periods of time until YouTube notices that it's there, and then gets removed, and then it gets placed somewhere else. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look around. This
Life
holiday
finds
season.
a way.
Life finds a way. Bad videos find a way. Yeah. Oh, I like this idea. I was I'm happy though, because Disney apparently still hasn't removed all the ideas that they had for the Star Wars movies that they're having like one every other year. It's just not going to be part of the Skywalker saga
Yeah.
anymore.
I'm kind of tired of the Skywalkers. I really like
They're a
Solo
little
and
bit
Rogue
angsty.
One.
Yeah. No, the one I'm most excited about is the what was going to be the Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan movie, but then they decided they had too much to tell, so it's going to be a TV series.
Yeah.
And anything that
they're doing such a good job with Mandalorian.
Anything that's more Ewan McGregor, I'm all behind.
Me
right?
too.
You can take that phrase however you want. I realized. The other one, I keep going back to Star Wars. Sorry, Star Wars is on the mind, right? The other one that I would love to see, I think it was Dan Midbury, came up with this concept for basically Ocean's 11 type of story, but with Lando and Han, the newer actors, and make it a proper heist movie where you've got Lando just telling a story while he's playing Sabacc, and everything that happens in the flashback is basically the complete opposite of what
how he's telling
saying.
the story. Yeah.
I mean, Donald Glover could deliver that amazingly.
Yes.
In other news, did you see the Brie Larson taking over for what's his face? The one of the late night talk show guys.
No.
Yeah, so she did an intro, or she did the host of I can't remember his name. I can see him. Anyways, one of the late night talk shows. So Brie Larson got to do an intro where apparently
Kimmel or
Kimmel. That's what it was. Thank you, Jimmy Kimmel. And that was a pretty good intro monologue where she goes off the rails on desperately wanting to be a part of the Cats movie, even though it's coming out when she did that in 48 hours. But she believed that she should be in the Cats movie. So now I don't know if I want to see it though. I mean, I love the Cats music. I love musicals in general. But Cats, great music. When I actually saw it as a cohesive musical, obviously it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it wasn't really supposed to make sense. But now as a movie, I feel like it's really trying to shoehorn this. Like, it's really just great as a collection of songs on a DVD. Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I don't need to see weird cat boobs. Like, yeah, and that's not my joke. I stole that from Brie Larson. Plagiarism. See, did I see Baby Yoda snowflake ornament on Breckensteimer's or Breckensager's IG account? It's available as STN SVG version. No, I did not see that. I will have to take a look. Although I did see that UPMC McGee Hospital in Pittsburgh is giving Baby Yoda hats, Baby Yoda Santa hats to all the babies that are born there, or at least a good portion of them, enough for CNN to pick up the article, and putting them in onesies that says, "Cute I am." And I just really wonder how long it's going to take for Disney to figure out a way to sue them over it. Like, technically, they're not doing anything wrong. It's a crocheted, like, ears coming out of this Santa hat. So
they're
like,
not making money off of it.
They could be goblin ears, right? It doesn't have to be a Yoda. And there's nothing trademarked about Yoda's speech pattern.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how Disney's going to do it, but I feel like they're probably going to try to find a way to sue them over it. But it's adorable. The CNN article was kind of trying to shoehorn this story into it because they were like, they found a couple that really liked The Mandalorian right before they were going to have a baby, and the husband was like, "Well, I'll try and find you a Baby Yoda toy," and now she's got a Baby Yoda of her own. I'm like, really? Come on, guys, that's terrible journalism. Yeah, it was kind of cringy. I feel really bad at how much earlier I finished the meal. Like, did I really spin that much thicker? Just rolling your eyes down.
Yeah.
Let me have this. Let me have this moment. Oh, I should, be relatively close, but yeah, no, you're close enough. But you'll be done by the time I walk upstairs to get my knitting. I am probably about 2-3
You just
nights
inserted
away.
the heel, right?
I did the gap for the heel. I haven't done
Yeah.
the heel yet.
Okay.
I did that last night, and then I'm probably 2-3 nights away from finishing.
Well,
the
amazing.
stocking,
That's when you'll need it.
which is about when I'll need it. I won't be able to block it though then, so I
We'll steam it.
gotta see tomorrow if I can really get my act together with knitting.
Yeah.
I spent the entire day cleaning the house today, so I'll be able to.
No, it wasn't just for you.
No, I do a weekly. That was Meredith.
It's a Saturday.
incidentally.
Saturday is clean the house
Saturday
day.
is clean the house day, and now that Jill has broken her back, it's Nick clean the house day.
Yeah.
And sometimes get the kids to whine while they're putting away a couple of things.
Yeah.
But well, that was fun.
Yep. See,
And
we're all done.
what time did how long
We're
did we take?
super quick today.
Oh my gosh, half an hour.
It's the fastest we've done
I
it.
feel like we're cheating our customers if we just stop now.
Well, they've had a lot of us lately.
Mm.
Maybe they need a break.
That's true.
There'll be more of us tomorrow.
I got Instagram message. Share to post. Oh. Wait,
You
yes.
gotta click
it's
on that.
It's Evanita was sharing me. Oh, there we go.
Oh, that is super cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll show this to Evanita. Just sent me the image of the neat snowflake Baby Yoda Rebel insignia Mandalorian. There's something else on the side there too. You know what I do need to do is I need to get my Beskar started printing.
No.
Because I think I've got one more to go.
You said like last night.
Last night I said I had 2 more to go. No, you said you thought it was the last night. We can go back to the video. All right. Well, thanks very much for joining us, everyone. Hopefully we're not leaving you with too much free time.
Go watch some Witcher.
Yeah, there you go. You can go entertain yourself by watching some Witcher or Mandalorian or the holiday special.
Yeah.
All right. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks
Good night.
a lot. Good night. Bye.